Hi, everyone, welcome to Style3D channel. In this video, I'll explain two tools under the Home menu: Edit Avatar Measure and Edit Garment Measure. When we click on the Edit Avatar Measure tool, some purple lines will appear on the avatar's body. The object browser on the right will also display some preset measurement points for the avatar. After opening the Edit Avatar Measure tool, a series of tools will appear, such as the Edit Avatar Measure tool and the Avatar Tape tool. First, let's use the Surface Circumference Measure tool, located below the Edit Avatar Measure tool for demonstration. Click on the surface circumference measurement, press Shift+C to hide all clothing, zoom in on the 3D window, and demonstrate on the avatar's prominent chest area. The Surface Circumference Measure tool measures the circumference along the surface of the avatar. You can hold Shift and click to generate a measurement line parallel to the ground, or click 3 points with the left mouse button to generate a custom direction measurement line. You can see that the two measurement lines generated are closely aligned with the avatar's body contour. When we no longer need them, we can use the Edit Avatar Measure tool, select the measurement lines, and press Delete to delete the lines. You can also see that after selecting the measurement line, the object browser will display the custom measurement line, showing the line and its length value to differentiate between preset and custom measurement lines. If you don't want the custom measurement lines displayed, you can click the small eye icon here to turn off the display of the lines and values. That concludes the introduction to the Surface Circumference Measure tool. Next, I will introduce the Basic Circumference Measure tool. Similarly, you can hold Shift and click to generate a measurement line parallel to the ground, or click 3 points with the left mouse button to generate a custom direction measurement line. For custom generation, you need to observe from multiple angles, and be careful of the point angles to avoid creating overly slanted measurement lines like this. Here, I will delete this measurement line. Now let's compare the Surface Circumference Measure and the Basic Circumference Measure tools. This line is the chest circumference obtained with the Surface Circumference Measure tool. This line is the chest circumference obtained with the Basic Circumference Measure tool. You can see one is closely aligned with the avatar's body, while the other is similar to measuring with a tape measure around the avatar. So, you should choose the appropriate tool based on your needs. I will delete both lines here. Next, let's continue with the demonstration of Basic Tape Measure and Surface Tape Measure. We will use the chest area for the demonstration. Basic tape measure is like using a tape measure to measure the distance between 2 points on the avatar. Click on 2 chest points, and it's similar to the effect of pulling out a tape measure for measurement. Next, let's look at surface tape measure. Click on the start point, double-click on the end point to complete the measurement. You can clearly see one is a straight line measurement, while the other measures along the avatar's body. Again, choose based on your needs. If you no longer need the measurement lines, you can use the Edit Avatar Measure tool, select the lines, and press Delete to delete them. Next, we have the Avatar Height Measure and Height Difference Measure tools. Select the Avatar Height Measure tool. Avatar Height Measure allows you to measure the vertical height of a point on the avatar relative to the ground. After clicking, you can set it as a symmetry line. Measurement lines created manually can be set as symmetry lines. After selecting, the measurement line on the other side will immediately appear. If you don't need it, simply turn it off. Next is the Height Difference Measure. Click the start point and end point quickly to measure the height difference between the 2 points. If you don't need it, you can select it and press Delete to delete it. That concludes the introduction to the series of tools for Edit Avatar Measure. Next, let's talk about the Edit Avatar Tape tool. First, let's introduce the Circumference Tape tool. When creating runway animations, using tape to prevent pants from falling is a useful application. Hold Shift and left-click to generate a tape circle parallel to the ground, or left-click on 3 points to generate custom direction avatar tape. Next is the Linear Tape tool. The Linear Tape tool generates line segment tapes along a drawn path. Click the start point, double-click the end point, and you can draw local avatar line segment tapes. Next, let's look at the Attach to Avatar Tape tool. Here, we first use the tool to draw a line on the front and back pieces of the garment. Then, show the garment to facilitate covering it with the tape. Observe the current position of the tape is relatively high, adjust the position downward. Next, select the Attach to Avatar Tape tool, choose the line segments on the garment you want to cover, then click on the avatar tape. After completion, it will show as green, indicating that the garment is covered by the tape. Move to the back side and do the same to cover with the tape. Currently, the line segments we need to cover with the tape are all displayed in green, indicating they have been covered. Click Simulate to see that the line on the garment is now tightly attached to the avatar's body, similar to an adhesive operation. You can also use the Edit Avatar Tape tool to set the distance between the avatar and the garment, controlling the space between them. If you no longer need the tape effect, you can right-click to unstick it or press Delete to delete the tape. That concludes the introduction to the Edit Avatar Measure and Avatar Tape tools. Next, we will explain how to edit garment measurements. Under Edit Garment Measure, there are tools like the Garment Measure tool, Linear Garment Measure, and tools like Walk and Clothing section. Press Shift+C to display all garments, then press Shift+A to hide the avatar, and press 2 to quickly fill the 3D window with the garment. Let's continue with the garment measurement demonstration. First, the Linear Garment Measure tool. Linear Garment Measure can measure the distance between 2 points on the garment in 3D window. Click the start and end points in the 3D window, and the measurement line will be drawn. You can see the length of this line in the property editor. Next is the Circumference Garment Measure tool, which measures the length of the garment's circumference in the 3D window. It can be used to observe how the chest and waist match the body. After clicking, it will also appear in the property editor. Next is the Point-to-Point Measure tool, which measures the distance between 2 points. Click the start and end points in the 3D window to generate a measurement line. You can also click the start and end points in the 2D window to generate the measurement line. Next, we have the Measure by Line tool, which measures the distance between 2 points on a line segment. For example, you can check the length from the armhole start point to a specific position. After completion, the corresponding values will be displayed in both the 2D window and the property editor. In the Size Measurement section, you can see all the line data. This concludes the demonstration of Linear Garment Measure and Point-to-Point Measure on a line for garments. Similarly, when we no longer need the measurement lines, we can use the Edit Garment Measure tool, select them in the 2D and 3D windows, and press Delete to remove all measurement lines. Next, we have the Walk tool. The Walk tool can be used to compare line lengths and the smoothness of seams. Here is a demonstration. First, select the moving side, then select the fixed side. You can join the shoulder lines and compare their lengths while observing the neck joint effect. During the comparison, right-click to select Tools, and click Create Notch to add a notch at the current position. You can choose to add a notch on the moving pattern, the static pattern, or add notches on both patterns for positioning. Next is Flip horizontally. After flipping, you can continue comparing contours. To end the comparison, press Escape to return to the original position. Click again to continue the demonstration. Right-click to move the pattern piece to the intersection point. This way, the front piece joins the back piece along the shoulder line. This helps adjust the armhole and neck curve. After adjustments, if you want to return to the original direction and position, select the pattern piece, right-click, and choose Flip/Rotate to align the fabric grain line upward. This will restore it to the vertical state. Then, move the pattern piece to the correct position. Next, we have the Clothing Section tool. It displays the garment along with the avatar, showing the gap between the garment and the avatar. This is useful for observing the garment's overall dimensional effect. You can switch between front view, top view, and side view. Switch to side view to observe the overall vertical effect of the garment. Adjust the state based on the displayed effect. Switch to front view, and with view switching, you can observe more angles. Switch to top view and press shortcut key 5 to observe the garment's cross-section from above. To exit this state, click any other button to exit. That's it, guys, and I hope some of the tips will help your modeling work. If you like what we do, please liking, commenting and sharing this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in next video. Goodbye.